Welcome to the first episode of The Checkout. That's right. Corbin and I are going all in. This is a show all about darts betting. Corbin introduced me to darts a couple years ago, and it's just been fantastic, and it's been very, very profitable. So we're here to walk you through some of these darts tournaments. We're going to start with the Masters here, the PDC here. So Corbin, this tournament, the biggest thing is it's sets, not just legs. And as we've seen, huge difference, especially in the betting market. So explain the difference between a tournament that is all about sets as opposed to a tournament that's just legs.
Yeah, firstly, it's a huge difference. It's probably the biggest format difference you can have. So the best of sets, this is best of 5 sets. So it's basically first to 3 sets, as opposed to best of 11 legs, which is first to 6 legs. The difference is just the speed. The legs can be over in 5-10 minutes. It's real super quick. If you start slow, you could be 3-0 down and basically out of the game within literally 2 or 3 minutes. Sets, you can lose the first 3 legs and come back, and it's like you're still on throw. Like there's no real advantage at that stage. It leads to the better players. There's time to come back. The better players that can start slow and then turn it around. It really gives them such an advantage. It's actually a shorter whole tournament as well. We see the Worlds goes on for weeks. Players have weeks between matches. They're going to be playing games on the same day, I think. The whole tournament is decided between now and Sunday. The seedings are done slightly differently as opposed to like the World Championships. It's not so much random. So I think it's the top, I want to say 24 players are seeded, and then they've been playing, everyone outside of the 24 has been playing anything from like 25th to 150th, I think I saw, playing in the qualifiers for those other spots today. Um, Looking at the tournament, not much has changed form wise. I mean, the World Championships was literally like December and start of this month. So really, there's not much to go on during the form. Looking at the plays, as I said, there's players are going to have multiple matches a day. So plays are going to come out. Sometimes you're going to have the same player in 2 plays in a day. Don't worry, they're not. It's not like contrasting with each other. They're probably just through to the next game. So
Yeah, so we're going to go through kind of match by match here, and we're going to give you some free plays here at the end here, including a future in a play for tomorrow. So let's just start going through some of these here. We're also going to give you a special on a 30-day pass here. So we'll just start with Josh Rock, and Watamena, and we're not going to have strong plays on all these games, guys. We're just going to
yes.
walk through just a little bit. I'm pretty surprised at this line here. It was kind of surprised me. You could talk me into Watamena at +1.5 as maybe a parlay piece at -240. Any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, it's one that I'll mention because I know some books have them and some don't, so I'll try and just mention them. The Watermainer +2.5, I love for sure. Him to win a set, so as best of 5, so it's first to 3. So if Rock wins 3, Watermainer only has to win 1 to cover the +2.5. But even the 1.5 at 240, I really like that. Josh Rock is always overvalued because he's the young guy. He's supposed to be the up and comer, but he doesn't blitz opponents. He's very inconsistent. I'd like even a little sprinkle of the -105 money line on Watermainer, quite honestly. So
Damon Hedda and Ross Smith. I don't know. These guys seem pretty kind of. Here's me what I find interesting: -140 on Hedda, but then the over 4.5 is +160. I don't know if it seems that close. Aren't you getting a little bit of value on this thing to go all five? What's your thoughts?
yeah, it's a tough one. Hetter's the better player. He had the higher averages. He had the better performances all year. But Ross Smith is one of those characters. He can light a fire in a bottle instantly, and he's one of the biggest 180 hitters on the tour. So it's one that I would look to the 180s market more than a side in that one. So
Rob Cross and William O'Connor. I wanted to bring up William O'Connor +1.5 because what you're not seeing is how many qualifiers there were for these guys to actually make it in here. Like someone like O'Connor, what you don't see is he had to play three matches to make it here. I wonder if there's a little thing about like it just Cross come out a little rusty because I got to be honest, I've watched Cross come out real rusty at times. I've watched him like I mean, how many times have you seen Rob Cross throw one in the first leg and he does the it's the
Yeah.
Rob Cross special. I don't know, a guy that's been playing recently who's won 3 in a row to get in here. Plus 1.5 against Rob Cross kind of has my attention. What do you think?
Quite honestly, I never want to touch William O'Connor again. He's so inconsistent. I'm just looking at who he played in qualifying. He played one guy I've never heard of. He beat DeGraff, which is quite impressive. I don't have the stats of how much he averaged in that game or anything by that. He also beat Veenstra, so that's quite impressive. If I was to take anything in this game, it would probably be O'Connor. O'Connor to win the first set. Because Cross starts slow almost every game.
Every game.
And O'Connor's best sets are normally the first one, so I could see a shock start first leg, but then Cross to run out a 3-1 winner by the end of it. So
Gerwin Price and Florian Hempel. Price seems to kind of have I don't want to say a new look or a different look, but to me, he seems a little bit more under control these days. You know, he's performed much better than some of the times I watched him in the Premier League last year. I think he's kind of where I think he performs where he should right now. In Premier League, I watched him completely blow it and play terrible. But I think when you give him a matchup like this one where he should win, if he gets out to an early lead, the momentum gets behind him. I like him -1.5 on this one. What do you think?
I think it could be a bit closer. Hempel's really good normally in the Worlds. In the first round, he has an excellent record. Price should win this game. I'm just looking again at who Hempel played in qualifying. He beat some big names. Mensur Suljovic, he beat 2-1. He beat Joyce. You know who Joyce is. He had a fantastic year. He beat him in straight 2-0, so quite comfortable. And then he beat Gabriel Clemens as an underdog 2-0 as well. So again, I don't have the full averages. I need to go and look up all of that of how well they actually played in these games, because the scorelines don't always tell the story of whether the other person was missing doubles or who was averaging higher. I would probably price +1.5 as an alt piece at some books that in the +550 ranges, probably the most exciting piece in that game for me. Or price 180s. He's been hitting a lot more 180s recently. So
Peter Wright, listen, we made a killing betting against him in the Premier League last year. He seems to have kind of come around a little bit more. You taking him to win here in this one?
This is a stay away. I'm still not sure what to expect from Peter Wright. Kevin Dutz is one that every time I feel like I like him, he just flops. And every time I don't expect him to do so well, he finds something. So yeah, I can't have a say in that one. Again, Wright's been hitting a lot more 180s. We used to fade him on the 180s. He's been firing them in recently. Longer format, as I mentioned, might be one to watch. So
Humphreys and Cullen. Humphreys, listen, #1 player in the world, hasn't been playing like it last couple games. So I don't know. Is this a slump or is this just you're not going to win them all? What do you think?
I think it's a slump because it's been going on for a while. It's not just the Worlds where he got upset by Peter Wright. It was before that. There was a tournament that he just didn't perform in. A tournament before, I remember you saying that his daughter was ill and he
Son. Just threw away the tournament. It's like,
yeah,
nice to know.
he's really not had a great 3 or 4 months. So we'll get to what I like in that game, but not Humphreys for me, especially at that price, which I think is very steep. So.
We got 3 free plays coming up for you. Bunting and Borland. We'll actually come back to that one. Noppert and Michael Smith. This should be a great game.
It should.
Yeah.
Over 4.5.
Love it.
+160. I've seen worse +160 shots, quite honestly. Noppert's got the form. He's been playing well recently. And Michael Smith, even though he's not been playing well, just seems to stick around in these kind of games. It's very hard to still blow away someone of his quality. He can easily turn on 100+ average for 1 or 2 sets here. So, yeah, I quite like that.
We're moving to Friday. Wade and DeDecker. No opinion on this one.
The 2 stroppers of the tour at the minute. Wade throwing his toys out the pram because he's not in the top 10 or anywhere near it, and DeDecker because he didn't get in the Premier League, pretending he didn't actually want it after saying for months how he would love to be in it. No, nothing.
Move on to Chisnall and Menzies.
Go on, say it, Andy. Say
we
what
lost
you're
a bet on Cameron Menzies when he started crying in the middle of a match because it wasn't in the middle. It was the very end. I will never get that picture out of my head. I would love to not think about that every time I think of Cameron Menzies. Unfortunately, that's all I will be thinking about on Cameron Menzies. However, it's a buy low spot for me. He's not going to do that. I think that was a terrible moment for him, and I think he gets better. I don't know if I'm willing to bet on him, but I'm not betting against Menzies in this one.
Yeah, I'm not touching it. It's a stay away. Menzies historically has done awful at the World Championships in the sets format. Plus all his situations. Who knows? He could get back on the stage and have flashbacks to what happened at the Worlds. All it takes is the crowd to start saying how much they hate Scotland again, and we're in big trouble. So yeah, stay away. Chisnell is so up and down. Who knows what version of him's going to show up either? So yeah, stay away.
Clayton Schindler, again, another close one, plus 160. Yeah, you can talk me into that one.
Yeah, I agree. Schindler's a guy that I like, and then I watch him and he just throws in like a 76 average or like an 82. And you're like, how are you doing this after just averaging like mid 90s? If anything, I quite like Clayton in the spot. Not that Clayton's been playing particularly well. I think he's just going to have a little more consistency and used to the bigger stage than Schindler. So
Aspinall and Gilding. Aspinall minus 235. I don't know. Not much I would. There's nothing I would do in this one. I think the blinds are about pretty accurate where I would put him at.
mm,
I just don't feel comfortable putting Aspinall in a money line, but at the same
no,
time, I'm not betting on Gilding.
yeah, it's a pass.
Dobie and Surly. Dobie's going to make he's going to be in the Premier League, I
Yeah,
believe.
he is.
You're not a believer in Dobie though, are you?
Not really. No, he's a bit inconsistent. He's a bit all over the place. The play I've got in this game, available at some books, is the alternate over 180s. It's over 4.5, and I think it was minus 250. I want to say they're both big 180 hitters. Dobie hit 5 in his last match on his own. I think this is a great piece. If you have this option, I would definitely recommend playing it. So.
Littler, I mean, minus 3,000. We'll get to Littler, and there's really not much you're doing with this one. I mean, minus 2.5 is minus 180. I always
I
feel a
like
little
it.
bit. You like it?
I
I
think it
always feel
whitewashes him. He's gonna turn up. He's gonna have the swagger. He's not gonna want to hang around with this guy.
okay.
He's gonna have 100 plus averages. The other guy's gonna average 85, 90, and he's gonna blow him away.
Van Gerwen and Bradley Brooks. I'm happy for Bradley Brooks that he qualified for
Yeah,
his
he will
chance
not
to
be
get
going. He will
waxed.
not. He will not be going any further than this round. 750 on Van Gogh is a nice piece. So.
Yeah, minus 2.5 at plus money.
I don't like it as much as the Littler one. I mean, you could probably play both of them and one of them would hit. So
Yeah, all right. And finally, Gary Anderson and Dimitri Vandenberg. Anderson, pretty big favorite. What do you think?
he's weird. Anderson's weird. I haven't quite worked him out. He was the number one player statistically through the year, yet he didn't really walk away with the trophies or the tournament progression to go with how well he's playing. I remember World Championships, he got upset quite early. Was it the first round actually, or the second round that they came in? It was whatever it is. It was really early, and I remember the tournament before he was like 6-2 up because we had him, and then he just bottled it and lost 5 legs in a row. So yeah, I can't do anything. Maybe Vandenberg if you can get plus 2.5. I'm not sure on the 1.5, but 2.5 I could get there. So
I'm not saying Gary Anderson isn't good, but he just seems like the nicest guy in the world.
yeah,
And people confuse that with being amazing. And I've just seen him fold. He doesn't strike me as the guy with the killer instinct these days. Like you
yeah.
said, he blew big lead and lost to guys he shouldn't. And it just feels like he might be a little bit overvalued. So, all right, guys, let's get to a couple of plays. I wanted to bring up, you mentioned Peter Wright. You can get plus money at 2.5 180s, and I got to tell you, I kind of like it. He had 3 in his last game. I was pretty surprised that you're getting plus money on that one. So
Yeah.
I'll do my free play first here. I am going to go to Humphreys and Cullen, and I'll take over 5.5 180s. Both these guys are capable of throwing a lot. Humphreys threw like 1 in his last match. I don't expect that to happen. Cullen in his last one, I know it was more legs in this, but I believe he had 20. And I went back to the last time these guys played. It was 2023. It was a long time ago. They played in best 7 and they threw 24. They each had 12. These guys can get on a roll. It wouldn't surprise me if each of them had 3 or 4. So that's going to be my free play here. So let's do a little parlay here for everyone. So Corbin, you can walk us through this one.
Yeah, first piece, Littler, most 180s. This is my favorite piece on the board. Littler is by far, and I mean by far, the biggest 180 hitter on the tour. I'm not expecting this to be close at all. Baton's 35-year-old, hasn't really done anything. Yeah, I mean, he came through qualifying, which is probably the most impressive thing he's ever done. Big stage versus the number 1 player in the world, the world champion. Yeah, I don't see him hitting more 180s or even getting close. Some books have like -1.5 or 2.5 180s. Would love that as well. Second piece is Bunting Moneyline versus Borland. Again, the experience is all there for Bunting. He won a tournament already this year, high averages, been playing well for over a year now. He's been really doing quite well. Good world championship run. Borland's an up and comer. He's 28. He beat Mansell and Van Dyvenbove and Suter all to get here, which is quite impressive, but all 2-1. Again, that third set, that extra margin, again, I think Bunting's going to just cruise past him. And then I'm going with Cullen plus 2.5. Cullen just turns up at these bigger stages. He dogs it out. He's really hard to put away. Lost 4-3 to Price at the World Championships. Pushed Humphreys the year before, where Humphreys won the whole tournament. He even had match darts to win the whole game. Humphreys has been inconsistent, really, as I mentioned, for the last few months. He can be good and average 100 plus in some sets, but we've seen him average in the low 90s, and those low 90s just offer so much opportunity for Cullen to just win a set. I really like that. So wrap that up for -110.
Love it. Corbin's going to tell you an outright winner here, but real quick, just want to let you guys know. Starting today, we're doing a 30-day pass. It's discounted down to $6.63. We were going to do 7 days, or we were going to do a darts package, but we've just been on fire, 21-4 in the last 8 days. So let's extend this out to 30 days. That way you get our 5% UFC play for this weekend, all darts plays for this tournament, as well as golf plays, as well as NBA, NHL, and the Premier League of Darts starts a little bit. So that way you're not just getting one darts tournament, you're getting several weeks of darts plays in there. So we're up 28 units in the last 8 days, number 1 in the last 2 years over at Wager Talk. So no promo code needed. Just go grab a 30-day all access. That way you get all of your plays for darts and all of our other sports. All right, Corbin, outright winner here. Who are we going with?
It's the obvious one. It's the square play, but Littler to win the outright at +200 just feels too good coming off a world championship. He's still been playing well this year, still averaging high. As long as he's even slightly motivated, I think he's better than all this field. Humphreys in the slump, Van Gogh, he's got the better of. Bunting to me is the dark horse at +1,000. I could see a tiny sprinkle on him, but I think Littler's just going to have way too much in this format. He's the biggest 180 hitter. He's the highest scorer. His checkouts have looked good. I think he's just going to continue to roll. So
when you told me this Littler like +200, I was like, I don't know, 2-1 in this field. But man, you're right. Humphrey's slump,
yeah,
he not only has to get better, he has to get a lot better. He can't be losing to guys that he's been losing to, and then expect to beat Littler. And you're right, Littler has the kind of the psychological edge over Van Gerwen. I don't trust Bunting. I certainly don't trust Gerwin Price to make it through the whole tournament without any slip ups. So then you're down to Gary Anderson, Rob Crott. Cupboard's a little bare here outside of Littler. So I'm with you here. That surprised me when I was looking at that. All right, guys. This tournament starts tomorrow, 2:00 Eastern time. Our time, I believe it's 7:00 your time there, Corbin. So all access clients, we will have plays out. If you want all of our plays, make sure you grab that 30-day pass over at Wager Talk. You get all the plays sent right to your phone, right to your email. So great job, Corbin. First episode of the checkout. We're still ironing out the format. We'll figure it out, and looking forward to Premier League. We'll be
back next week for the Premier League. Starts next Thursday. So
yes, get ready. The Premier League was a huge source of profits and units last year. So looking forward to that. Thanks, Corbin. Good luck on your place. We'll see everyone later.
Good luck.